Alright. Hello there, World History 8 people. Today I'm going to be walking you through my first few turns as United Provinces. And hopefully this will give you some insight on what you really should be looking for every turn. Some basics in geography, economics, and battle. I don't know if we'll get into I don't think we'll get into a battle today, but really just map strategy for now. United Provinces. Indeed. Short campaign, medium difficulty. Alright.
Your first priority should be to defend your home region against the Catholic Spanish, who are seeking to destroy Protestantism and restore superstition and fear to the land. Following that, capturing Flanders would not only expel the Spanish from Northern Europe, it would also unite all Netherlanders under a single banner. It's important to make and maintain alliances with other Protestant nations. You're already allied to Britain by virtue of William of Orange's position on the throne of England, and the military might of Prussia could make them an important ally. You should also try to expand your colonial possessions in the Caribbean Sea. Trade is an essential part of Dutch culture, so keep sending Indiaman merchant ships to the trade theatres in the South Atlantic, East Indies, off the coast of Africa, and your colonies in the Caribbean and Ceylon. Maintain a navy to patrol your sea trade routes and protect them from attack.
So, as I said, the advisor, or as in the other intro video, the helpful lady in the upper left-hand corner gives you some great advice to get your campaign started. You will notice, as I mentioned in class, and as you can see here, that Spain owns this small part called Flanders that is just south. They do threaten my capital city, being Amsterdam. They don't do this immediately, but within the first few turns, they end up with a full army here and will march on my capital city. So I know this because I played this campaign several times. So there are some things we can do, but let's not get into, as I said, let's not get into military right now. So I did get a question over email about how to determine happiness in a city, which is always pretty important. First thing, as in the intro video that I sent last week, you do want to, is your population increasing? Okay, and every city has this little tab here, this quick tab that it will tell you without clicking. You just literally, so let's walk through that again. You can literally just drag over the city and see. So my population's increasing, and my upper and lower classes are both happy. Okay, so I don't really have to go in there, but if I did want to take a closer look, double click the city and it immediately appears. Okay, so again, when I double click the city, I can see the happiness for both. 5 and 5 is perfectly fine. You really only have to get worried when either of these gets in red, being negative. You'll see 95% Protestant, 5% Catholic. There probably is some influence from Spain being Catholic, but 95% is still great. And I have this. I don't know, it's a gentleman. Never mind. I thought it was a priest. Okay, so as was said in the intro video last week, you want to get a good look at your economy, which right now, if I go to lists, I'm just sorry. I'm just taking a quick look here. So the happiness in all my cities is quite good. Um, but the income in Curacao in Dutch Guyana is down. So perhaps the taxes are not enough. Anyway, we'll get to the other theaters shortly. Focusing on economy for the time being, you want to look for these little symbols, which says that there's something to build here or upgrade. And the first thing I'm going to do is upgrade this. It's 300 gold, and it will, if you actually drift over that, will tell you. 0.2 to population growth, reduces the chance of food gathering, 200 to region, reduces the chance of food shortages, and plus 200 to region wealth. Okay, and it also enables these two research things, which common land enclosures is going to be crucial to upgrading farms in the future. So we do want that. And then you'll see there's two areas to build here inside of the city. Now, I don't care so much about happiness right now, so I'm not going to do that. +4 to repression, plus 12% to region tax income. That's pretty nice. 12%. It is quite expensive though. 4,500. I may need to have some of that money for military. So, for me, this is my only territory in Northern Europe. So, that's really all I'm gonna do aside from militarily, which I don't know if I'm gonna do anything immediately. One last thing before I move on to the Americas and the Indian theater. This is called a rake, in other words, a spy. And I'm actually going to. Let's see how much information I have on this army. Okay, so these are probably full. I don't really need to send them, but I could. I could. See, I can assassinate. Let's see if I can assassinate the general. 31% chance. See what happens. Haha! So you'll see that. Rakes do play a role. So I assassinated the general unit of the army standing the Spanish army. You'll see that that general no longer exists. So that will make it easier on the next turn to attack that region, or I may come back at the end of this turn and do it too, because what can happen is they can recruit a new general or send a new general. So it may be wise for me to move some troops into this army and attack, and maybe I'll get to that in the next video. But for now, what I did notice, what I'm sitting here looking at, is when I move that rake, I noticed that France has this army outside of here. So let me just see what. Yeah, see, France. That's another issue that I tend to forget, is that France is allied with Spain. So I think I do happen to remember that if I move on this city, France comes into play as well, which makes me a bit nervous. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move out of here as promised. But notice, economy first. Upgrade what you can that is reasonably priced. I think it would be a good idea for me. I'm gonna go ahead and do cobbled roads as well. You see, that'll increase wealth and campaign movement speed, so I'm gonna do that too. These tabs exist in any city, guys. Army, infrastructure, recruitment, and construction. Construction, you can upgrade buildings. Recruitment, you recruit new military units. Infrastructure is mostly just roads. I don't actually think it goes to anything beyond roads. Then army is, who is stationed in your garrison, and then understand that the gray units will come out and fight for you. That represents the population, so they come out with very poorly armed, uh, really just like basic militia. Okay, so they do not have good, and also you can't control them. You can only control these guys unless you're attacked, and then you can control them all in the field of battle. Kind of confusing. Don't worry about that much. Really only comes into play if you get attacked at that city. These gray guys will come out and support you. All right. Let's move on to the other. Let's move on to the Americas. So you see, the Dutch do have a couple of places in the New World. Understand, this is the north. This is the northeastern coast of South America. This is Aruba, Curacao. Okay. Um, the big issue here tends to be pirates. You'll see there's 3 pirate ships hanging out, and if you don't, you just really kind of want to keep an eye on them. Um, you don't want to be in a position where they outnumber you, because then, uh, you risk losing your fleet. Which at that point, if they take any of your harbors, your port, like they can sail up to this port, for example. Um, one of the things you can do to help prevent them stealing from your port is to station boats there. You can also recruit boats, right? So now the thing about naval units are quite expensive, and especially the Dutch have a well upgraded. But so what you always want to look for boats is how many cannons do they have? You'll see to the right of this menu. I can't actually mouse over it, otherwise I'll lose it. But you'll see 42 cannons in the upper right of that panel there. This is a 26 cannon boat. This is an 18 cannon boat and a 12 cannon boat. Now, Indian Man is just a trade ship. Okay, so this is the most powerful boat in my current Dutch fleet. Okay, um, and I could produce that. It's 1,500 almost to produce, and I don't think it's worth it. I do have a feeling I'm gonna get raided by the pirates when I turn out here, when I press the turn button. Um, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to see what happens, and if I have to, I'll produce. They're not going to have enough to block both ports, so well, that's the hope. So you'll see I can upgrade this. What does that give me? 450 the region wealth, 10 per turn to town wealth, and it enables some research of the spinning jenny, the spinning wheel. This would be a good investment, actually, but I do want to look at. That's a gold mine. Here's a mine that can be upgraded. Deep gem shaft. -1 happiness. So if I'm going to lower happiness due to a mine, maybe I should look at what the happiness is. Which it's not bad. Remember, pay attention to that advisor. She does come up several times. Um, it's not bad at all. It is 2,500 to upgrade that mine. And this is only 800 to upgrade the logging camp, and that gives me some wealth as well. Remember that wealth was a problem when I looked at the. I went to my list and to my regions. That wealth was a problem here. Um, in fact, wealth is now a problem in India as well. So, and I'll jump over there in just a second. So, I'm gonna upgrade that. I think I'm not going to. It's so difficult for me to decide what I want to do. What can be built in the city? Governor's residence. +3 to tax income, +1 to repression. Ooh. Mounted musketmen. Settlement fortifications. This will be good in the future. I am going to upgrade the governor's residence, I think, to give me some more tax income. Remember, the first turn is always all about trying to set up the maximum amount of cash flow that you can for the next turn. And understand that, these upgrades take some turns. So, you want to get them going. Okay, I'm going to jump over to India, where I have Ceylon, which is this island, Sri Lanka, essentially. Um, you see, this trade route's coming all the way from Europe, right? And I've established trade. It appears I'm trading with both the Maratha Confederacy and the Mughal Empire. Huh. Pirates get scatty down here too. It's very hard to track everything that's going on in this area because people just like ships just fly across the screen. And notice we have fog of war, so you can only see certain parts of the map. So you'll just see a ship, and then you don't know where it is after that. Like it'll come through here, and then later you get attacked way over here or something because you won't see it the whole way. So here I can build a mine. That might help get some income. Here's a cannon foundry. Ooh, that might be good because I can't recruit cannons here right now. If I want to attack other parts of India, I'm going to need some cannons to do that. And I can build a conservatorium, which is really just a happiness building, and can't even build fortifications. Barracks will allow me to get good infantry. See, this is probably worth it. But again, it's just a military. You can read about any of these by right-clicking, by the way. Gosh, this would be so good for my military campaign in India. So, as with this. Okay, but I said I would focus on economics, so I'm gonna go ahead and. Okay, so you see how just with those things, I only have $2,400 left, and really the only thing left to do at this point. Uh, something. Sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. This is how my videos kind of are because there's so much I'm thinking about at one time. There was something that I can't remember right now. Let me go back to Europe. Okay, so back to my home region. You'll see. So because this is not stationed in a city, because this army is not stationed in a city, um, it's going to cost me money to maintain this army. So I will lose money because of this army. So I can either station it back in the back in the city, or I can attack something with it. And if I do, I will lose some troops, which will lower my upkeep. Okay, so if you ever have a bunch of troops and no money, I said this in class last time, you either need to attack or you need to disband troops, because the upkeep is just going to eat away all of your profits. Now, what will happen this turn will likely be, I see Spain drifting off there. Sorry, France. I see France drifting off there near my trade line too. I have a feeling that France will attack my trade route. Um, See, now I'm just thinking what's going to happen when I press the turn button. So I do have a little more money. I'm going to make another. How many cannons do I have? That should be enough. I'm going to recruit some more line infantry. Pretty economical, and they get produced in one turn. And they're quite good. They're sort of your standard go-to until you get more of the advanced buildings later, like the advanced like what is it called in this city? Like drill schools and things allow you to recruit. Like higher level barracks allow you to recruit better units. But for now, your line infantry is your go-to. And I'm going to go ahead and recruit one so I can add that to my army next turn. Um, Gregorian calendar, many Protestants near the new calendar. So yeah, historical event like these pop up once in a while. Do make sure to revise anything that comes down here in your bottom left screen, or again your advisor. I think that's all I have. I do want you guys to sit through, so I'm gonna go ahead and save. Right, so let's save. United Provinces. For WH8. Okay. So I saved, and I'm going to turn out. Okay. And you'll see what everyone else does.
Mic off. Mic on.
Pirates will always be the last people to move before your second turn. And again, it's kind of weird because until they pretty sure they attacked my trade line right there. So you have these lists of things. Okay, firstly, slow population growth. As population growth is slow here, it is recommended that you upgrade farms or bring lower class taxes down. She's giving you a clue in Dutch Guyana, so I will head over to Dutch Guyana and deal with that shortly. This video it's a bit long at this point, and I'll end it as soon as I go through these notes. Okay, so my farm was constructed in the Netherlands. That's good. My trade route was raided. Now, if I zoom to location, I can find that. And I was kind of afraid that was going to happen. And this is the trade route. This is the East Indies. I think. Oh no, it's straight to Madagascar, so it's just east of. It's just west of here. Yeah, to Madagascar. So I do need to defend that, but I don't know if 3 boats is going to do it. So, I may be forced to. I'll just recruit 1 here. That'll take 2 turns, and then I'll have to go over and try to defend that because I don't have anything there. Okay. Successful mission. Your agent was successful in returning sensitive information about the enemy. That was the same guy that's now. You want to be careful about. You want to be. If you ever do use your agents, which I don't really expect you to, but as you can see, they can be quite effective. You can do things like sabotage, which will like kind of mess up their economy. But you do want to be careful about stationing them in an enemy city because they will eventually get caught, inevitably. Okay. Oh no, it's the same. I already looked at that one. Okay. So I'll check that one. Check this one. Unit recruited. Where did I recruit a unit? Indeed, I did. Remember, at the end of the turn, I recruited 1. And Poland, Lithuania, and Austria declare war. Interesting for Evan. Okay, so my next video will show you the Battle of Siege, so siege warfare, where I will capture this city from the Spanish and then brace for impact while the Spain and French send armies north. Notice that the French Navy is up here poking around. I don't really like that at all. In fact, they really have no reason to be up here other than going against the British or me because, and I don't think it would be the British. I don't know what their relations are, but I don't think they're at war with the British, and they certainly wouldn't pick a war with the British Navy since it's the best in the game. Or a close second to mine. So I'm going to recruit another ship at my home region, and I'm going to station my fleet in my port so that they can't, well, I could blockade the Spanish ports. I'm going to go ahead and station. And if I remember correctly, which I think I do, if I'm stationed here, they can't blockade this port. And I think also if you station an army there, they can't blockade it. Question mark. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to get to that later. Okay, so just one last thing before I log out for today is I was told that in Dutch Guyana I could raise the lower tax, or I could see the pirates raided. The pirates raided my port. So I was told I could either raise the tax or I could upgrade the farms, which I can't do anything to upgrade the farms right now. And I worry about taxes because I only have a 4 and a 5. I don't know how much taxes are even going to help at that point. Food shortages. So it'll go down to 0. See how the happiness changes. I'm actually just going to leave it. And then in the next video, I'll maybe show you a naval battle between me and the pirates as well. You know, is there anything I can do to upgrade the economy here right now? I mean, other than what I already did. No. Okay. So a blockade. Oh yeah, here we go. A blockade is a cordon of ships used to prevent the enemy from trading through your port. Da, 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 da. You can blockade a port by clicking on it as you do. If there's an enemy fleet inside, a cordon graphic will appear to indicate the blockade is underway. Otherwise, your fleet will sail straight into the port and occupy it. So an enemy can blockade a port when you're stationed in it, but it'll be easier to, obviously, if you have your navy stationed there, it's easier to defend than if you don't. Gosh, it just feels so good. It feels like such a good idea for the wealth. I mean, it was like a significant upgrade. 450 plus 10 per turn. That just seems like something I need to do, and I should probably do it in India as well. Okay, logging out for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned some stuff about what you should really be looking for at the beginning of every campaign. And I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that shot. Thanks a lot, guys.